It's allowing me to time it.
On the way to being free.
And there it is. I gotta make sure I turn on so they can hear me. That's always a big mistake. Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? Facty out there in the audience. I see you there, Jinzu. I think that's the name. I think I'm messing up, but I actually do quite okay, apparently. Fred Knotts, how you doing, buddy? K-Doc, are you the first one in here? You're the first one in here. Oh, you are too. I had to switch it to live, not top. I don't know why it does that. I hate that. Charlie Welch, gotta love conspiratards. Someone has to. Hey, it hid the word conspiratards. I wonder if that's in my block lists. It must be tards. Oh, I wonder if it grabs words off other words. Anyways. Listen, everybody here knows my guest, or some people may not, but I think you do. The guy who generally needs no introduction, but also the only human in the room sometimes. PhD Tony, because as everybody knows, if you don't have a PhD, you're not a person, right? Right? This is confirmed by the person with the PhD at one point. You caught flack for that, didn't you? Somebody thought you were serious.
I did. Somebody thought I was serious about that. That's,
wait, I hope they can hear you. I'll turn you up. 1 second.
Which I guess just goes to show how arrogant I come across, I guess. Yeah. Well, happy to be here.
Thanks for having. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
So Fred Knotts is out there stealing my thunder with spoilers, because I had fresh news that Kent Hovind's arrest in late July has just hit the news.
Where's he saying that? Oh, I didn't read that. They busted themselves 15 degrees per hour. Oh, no, that's... Even Kent Hovind got himself arrested. So what's this about, Kent? We were talking about this right before we started. You'd said something. Everybody, tell me if my levels are a little high or anything like that. But please, go ahead. What happened to Kent Hovind?
He got arrested for domestic abuse. He got into a quarrel with his estranged wife and threw her to the ground. She took out a restraining order against him and has had him arrested for it. Also, in the report in January this year, one of Kent Hovind's supporters apparently menaced her with a firearm, menaced her with a handgun. So these are the.
I'm not laughing because that's all very serious. I'm laughing because, like, That man is like cesspool. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah,
For a person who claims to be a devout person, what a joke.
yeah, he's just um uh you know the um I'm trying to work out how Optimon's comment is in any way relevant. Kent Hovind isn't a flat earther.
Oh yeah, I don't think he is. In fact, he's one of the people if he would debate flat earthers. Actually, he is. But Ken Hovind, does he not believe he's not the same guy as the dinosaur guy, or did he also believe dinosaurs and humans?
Yeah,
lived
no,
together? He's one of the dinosaur guys.
Yeah, he's one of the dinosaur guys. So he's often known as
God.
Dr. Dino. He does. So
awesome.
he runs a dinosaur park experience. He believes in a literal interpretation of the Old Testament. So Noah's Ark and this, that, and the other, etc., etc. The incredibly long lifespans of the people in the Old Testament. He believes that the entire universe is 6,000 years old. Doesn't believe in evolution.
Did Kent build the big boat? Is he the boat builder? No. No, that's a different person.
So that's Answers in Genesis under their leader at the time, Ken Ham.
Oh, that's right, Ken Ham. He's the slender dude, right? He also was a dinosaur guy, though, right? He was a dinosaur.
Yeah, he is
a dinosaur Bible person.
He's a dinosaur guy.
Oh, that's right.
And if you in the Ark experience, you can go in and you can see that they have dinosaurs penned up in the Ark. So they've got reconstructions of
they went there on
proto whales.
They went there on Rediculous. Yeah, in Rediculous, the movie, they went to that place and got kicked out of it, I think. Or expressly asked not to ask any more questions, basically. I think was maybe what happened. Yes. I can't quite remember. But it was definitely one of those, hey, how's it going, Holy Smalls? Ooh, I almost said Holly Smalls. I did the holy, though, see?
Okay, Holy Smalls, yes.
This person's allowed to rip on Kent Hovind. We're not devout enough. We don't have a.
Okay.
We don't have a. Holy Smalls knows I'm fucking with him. Oh, I don't know why I always think it's a her. It's that beautiful white pearlescent image, I think, of the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well, it's good to see everybody here.
I asked Jail Warren if he wanted to come by too, and.
Okay. Well, that would be interesting.
Me and PhD Tone Izzle. Oh shizzle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that to. I'm saying that to the plot hole, Johnny at the plot hole right now, and I'm gonna see what his answer is because he doesn't. Faux shizzle. How do you spell faux shizzle? Would it be a SHIZZLE? PhD Tone Izzle faux shizzle. Okay. Because he doesn't seem to be able to roll with my punches as hard as my ADHD throws them at him.
All right. Okay.
He knows what I'm saying.
He's an interesting.
He's like, why are we talking about this? Well, hold on a minute. I want to back this up for a second. He said, give me a few seconds. He might join us. I want to back this up and preface this. Convince me conspiracy. He's got a member in there. How you doing? I want to apologize to all the members the members and patrons that there isn't a ticker still. And I promise you that when the summer is up and I'm done dealing with some larger projects that definitely have to demand my attention, I'm going to get on all this garbage. Right. Plus, I've still got an open invitation from one of the bigger creators, as you guys know. You guys might know him, that guy named FTFE, to use his second copy of VMix. Yeah, exactly. I just had to get off my ass and practice on VMix. I'll tell you what, the first time I opened VMix, the trial version, it was scary a little bit. I was like, wow, that's a lot of levers. Hold on. I'm going to make it so the audio can hear this.
Yes.
There you go. Holy Smalls coming in. You got my name right. I got it right again. My brain is working better today. I was out exercising by chasing kids around a place called Tinkertown. Which was wonderful. We went.
Yeah.
Man, I've learned one thing, Tony. You tell me if this is like universal. Okay, everybody in the audience, tell me if it's universal. I think it is. Upper 20s to like 30s is a good mark where you stop being able to ride things that spin. Right?
Yeah.
Like at some point when you were a kid,
Yeah.
you were just like, this is the best day of my life. I want to be spun till my eyes come out of my ears. And then you get to like 28, 29, my wife and I, and then one day, we didn't have kids yet, so we would have had to have been, our kid's 7, so it would have had to have been, it would have been like 8 years ago, but, so, that would put us like late 20s, like 28 or something. Anyways, so 26 even, 25, something like that, but we went to the Red River X, and which is a big exhibition fair here, and we rode the Hurricane, which is like this. Well, the Hurricane's the one that spins you like on the arms where they go around in a circle.
Yeah.
And then we went on some choo-choo train thing that like went really effing fast, like the Polar Express, where it just went in like a big oval on an awkward oval, like in like a train. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we got off that, we had to like sit down for like 40 minutes, and we were like, so we're old, huh? Like it was like, that's it, eh? Like no more. But forward and back, like I can go on a zipper and spend a whole day on a zipper just fine. And roller coaster, I'm okay with. It's that fucking spinning thing.
Well, for me, the world is spinning all the time at the moment.
So you're still kind of having that reaction. That's too bad.
Yeah.
So extreme. Are you allowed to talk about it? That's your business. So.
Well, it's a severe AstraZeneca reaction. That's the diagnosis at the moment, but they'll follow it up.
Well, hopefully that's all. Hopefully that's all it is. You know, well, I mean, that's kind of a weird thing to say. This is what you're an example, by the way. You're going to be held up as an example for by the anti-vaxxers. They're going to be like, this guy's got a PhD and he couldn't fucking handle the vaccine. Clearly, there's something wrong with it.
Well, I mean, I still think that it's the right call. Like, yes, it's going to have adverse reactions for some people, and some people indeed have died of adverse reactions. Undeniable. But, is it inflicting less harm than the disease? The anti-vaxxers seem very selective. Like, there are adverse reactions to polio.
There's adverse reactions to getting the goddamn coronavirus.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, goddamn. I mean, I don't want to dig into anti-vaxxers too much, just because, like, I do, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm feeling less feisty lately, although, because I won't lie to you, my last video was a anti-mask video, and it failed utterly. Apparently, unless the police literally smash her face against the window and drag her across the parking lot into the police car, they don't fucking care.
Well, I mean, that is the downside of it, right? Like, a lot of these people are just so annoying, right? And what you really want at the end of the video is some sort of catharsis, is some sort of
taser.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you want some.
You
sort
hear
of
screaming, you can't do that to me, and you're like, yes, he can. Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't even show in the one video I got away with because Team and them were getting demonetized all the time, and even Radical, and they were struggling with it, and I'm like, just don't show them. And what was it? I remember. Okay, so Radical, you know his sense of humor, right? And I was talking to him on Discord DMs, and I'm like, so. He's like, well, they demonetized my video. And he's like, the whole video, he's like, it's totally harmless. He's like, they don't do anything, basically. And I'm like, do they, because he was showing a lot of videos, like his big thing was smash windows. And people were getting dragged out of a lot of windows in his videos. And so I was like, did they smash his window? He's like, they gently broke the window and escorted the gentleman out of the car. Like, and he was like... I'm like, through the window, right? He's like, hey. He's like this. So I was like, all right, okay. So your first problem is that you cannot show them dragging him out of the car. Like, it doesn't matter how. He's like, he didn't even get cut or anything. It's like, it doesn't matter. YouTube algorithm now sees violence. and that's all. They don't care. So I showed a bunny fight, and people thought it was great. I just thought two hares just ripping each other, and I played the audio from it over top of the two hares just beating each other in the headlights of a truck, which that is loosely fair use. I mean, let's face it, a lot of us are playing pretty fast and loose with the rules on that one, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, trust me, they'll let you know if you step too far. But it's not like you're Susie Lou or anybody. If you're aware of her.
Susie Lou. Oh, I do know Susie Lou. Why do I know that name though?
She ran a sort of an anime reaction channel, but people started, sort of criticizing her, and so she hit them with copyright strikes, which is kind of.
That's why Susie Lou. That's right. She was. Oh yeah, but wait, Susie Lou. She's not the one that did the. Oh, Jilly Juice is what I'm thinking of. Oh, that was great.
All right.
Do you remember Jilly Juice? She might have killed somebody. Might have. Hashtag opinion. Hashtag don't sue, because she was very litigious, I think, because that's how she was.
Okay.
That's how she was shutting people down. That was all the way back to the Non Sequitur show. She was going after KJ had written articles about Jilly Juice on her blog that she was on, and then this woman started maliciously, like, I think she was targeting her legally with like lawsuit threats and stuff like that. But of course it was like true. Like, this woman was making this fucking shit called Jilly Juice, and it was like this recipe to health. And it was like, I think you're supposed to drink like it was like a jar, like, fuck, I don't even have a jar around that. I do somewhere, but imagine a gigantic like this Patron bottle of goddamn juice every day of this cocktail. And it was like one, you're supposed to drink one of these a day. And it was like, it had your week's allotment of salt in it or something like that.
Wow.
Oh, it was so bad. People were starting to have like heart problems and all kinds of shit because they were like basically salting their flesh. Like,
yeah.
And now that is hashtag, okay? We have to put this asterisk here for things we say. This is also unproven, okay? And we don't actually have any factual evidence to support these claims, okay? We got to do the legal thing. It's true, though. I was doing the podcast with my buddy Frank. He's saying things that we were like, allegedly. He's like, no, it happened. We're like, no, it allegedly fucking happened, Frank.
Yes.
Anyways, sorry. Go ahead, PhD. I cut people off enough.
No. Well, you've just got to be aware that if you elevate your sodium levels, you can run into problems with your heart function.
Blood pressure
sort of because
spike.
you've got electrolytes, blood pressure spikes, micro strokes. You can do yourselves all sorts of damage by having too much salt. Salt water is not good for you.
Actually, it'll kill you faster than drinking your own piss. Apparently, that's what I've read. He's like, I don't know. I was experimenting one weekend.
In an emergency situation, I'm told that you can drink your urine once, maybe twice.
You do not want to let it linger, though. You can't leave it in the cup and come back to it in like a couple hours. It has to be straight from the tap, is the understanding.
Okay, well, I wouldn't. Well,
if you can get to your tap, then congratulations. I'm saying just don't leave it. Don't let it sit in the sun for a couple hours. No, what it is I think what that is that you don't. As long as you're healthy and you don't have a bladder or a urinary tract infection, I think the idea is that your bladder and your urethra and everything is inside you, so it's actually sterile to you. So if you put it, any time it spends not in you is time that it's starting to collect bacteria that could be unhealthy. Well, definitely would. Yeah. That I watched. Okay, did you ever watch this channel called Good Mythical Morning?
No.
It's a fantastic channel. I'll bring it up real quick, because they're a bunch of turds in the sense of like, they do really it's actually probably like family friendly too. Like they do things like they did like an entire tub full of ranch dressing and like got into it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really crazy shit. But like here, I'll bring up an example here. I'll show you. Like they. Here, let me turn my music off for a second so I can turn this up.
See the Jack of the King. Let's talk about that.
And that's music, so we're gonna fucking skip that real quick. And we're actually gonna fast forward them because it helps our odds of not getting auto claimed. But this should be fair use because I'm only gonna show a little bit of it. So.
No, yet. But what we do know is that both parties are willing to do whatever it takes to win your allegiance via Twitter.
Yeah, unsatisfied customer.
That's too fucking fast. Team Skeptic, I was watching with him, and he's like fucking cranking it to 2 times. I'm like, dude, they're not even making sense anymore. He's like, how do you watch it at 1 times? He's got no patience. I love it.
Christina
No, I love it. It's
tweeted,
funny.
Hey, Burger King, I'm pretty sure you should be thrown in the dungeon for this. Thanks
I have a
for the
link
crappy
for you
drop.
too. I'm going to share it in Discord.
So yeah, I'll share it in Discord for sure. I'll take a look here. So this is not one of their more wild things, but they'll do like, you know, can it see, like that's, I think this is like, can it be sandwiched or something, or like they'll turn things into like, you know, could it be omeletted or something like that, and they just do ridiculous challenges. But like one of them is like, if I type ranch in here, like, see, like this is way back. This is a couple of years ago now. Yeah, here, like.
Today we completely immerse ourselves in ranch dressing.
Let's talk about that.
So it's like they get, somebody actually gets them a freaking tub of ranch. Like, look at.
I'm going on the inside. You're going on the outside.
My knees are around your knees right now.
Not an image that I really needed in my life, if I'm being honest.
No, look at this. Oh, you know what you sign up for when you come to this show.
No, I don't know. That doesn't feel right. Just see.
Don't sit on my foot.
So the thing is, it's cold. Is somebody like, he's
Yes.
like, I guess it was all in the refrigerator or like something like that. And apparently it's really cold because ranch isn't water. So of course it has a lot of thickness to it, right? So like, but I think they put fucking celery in there with them and stuff. Like, hold on, I feel like he pulls one out and starts eating it or something. Like they're dunking each other. Like,
Don't force me. Let me do this in my own pace. That's the only rule of ranch immersion is you let me immerse myself.
Yes.
Come on,
Here we go.
get your head on it.
Pull me. Pull. Look. Yeah, that's good.
he's so fucking tall. They had to pull him right out of the goddamn tub to get him in. That's what happened there. He's just ridiculous. And then I think, look, see, there it is. The staff comes by.
There's a stage 2 to this. Now we're in ranch. We might as well make it a full-size salad. Bring it on.
This is
You
optional
can,
for those.
you can kill people, actually, by pulling them into a tub like that.
I mean, if it was jet cold, but I see what you mean, because you bring their core temperature down.
No. It's actually.
Is it that Goldfinger bullshit?
No, it's that there was a series of murders, the bathtub murders in England.
Ooh, I'm interested now.
Where this doctor would marry women, get them into a bath, and then pull their legs abruptly. And what happens is that the water goes up their nose, and they suffer what's called vagal inhibition. They just stop breathing, just a nervous shock. And then I seem to remember that there might have been something with there might have been some other complication involved, but it's actually probably not so dangerous with ranch, which isn't quite as fluid, doesn't have as low a viscosity as water, but with water, it's actually quite dangerous to abruptly drop your head in if the person isn't ready for it.
Interesting. Well, that's like the whole thing of like when you're running, you shouldn't be dousing your head with cold water. I think because it like can cause like blood clots and shit. I think in your blood vessels.
Well, you can. So this is another piece of weird trivia. The city in the world where most people die of cold is actually London. because they don't wear hats and gloves. And so what happens is that the
Well,
hot
really?
blood goes.
It's not like Canada or
Yeah.
Russia?
No, it's
off.
not like Canada or Russia. It's because
people leave
Canadians
here
and
like it's going to be
Russians-
fucking cold out.
Yes, that's right. People in Canada and Russia go, it's going to be cold out. I'm going to put on a hat and some gloves. And Londoners go, sissies, it's not that cold. And they won't wear hats and gloves.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
So, but apparently, you've got warm blood going out into your extremities and then coming back in. And it forms clots if you go abruptly from hot to cold. Just like you were saying. So
you're telling me all of the times that we would get out of the sauna and dive off the end of the dock just after the ice had left, that was a bad idea?
That wasn't a great idea. That was not a great idea.
By the time you get back to the dock, your muscles would be seizing up from the frickin' paddling in the cold water, and you'd be like reaching for the fucking the ladder. You'd grab it and be like, "Oh yes, I'm not gonna drown today." I remember playing in chest waders with my buddy Brock next door in the water as the spring waves, the ice had I think there was still ice piled up on the shores, like it had just left the lake. And I remember jumping around in the water to the point where the fucking chest waders are full of water. Everything's full of water. But I remember this happening. I was only like 12, and maybe 11, I don't know, 12 probably. But at some point, my core temperature must have dropped. Like, I was having a great time until suddenly I felt like fucking trash. There was like a fucking ball had dropped. Like, everything was great. So much cold water in my, because we were on the beach, so we weren't going to drown or nothing. It wasn't like I was playing in the river.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, I remember this moment where all of a sudden it was like, I just felt really shitty. And I remember just walking out of the water and unclipping the chest waders because they're full of fucking cold water, right? We were dicking around as kids, eh? I walked out of the water and I unclipped the shoulders and just let the weight fucking drop off of me and like stepped out of them.
Yeah.
Literally just walked out of them and was like, I gotta fucking go get a towel. It's like just went beeline straight up to the house to go get dried off. Because I was like, I think I was old enough to realize that, like, I must be too cold or something. I don't know. But, like,
you're right.
So is that, like, the step before hypothermia, basically? Is that?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you can get hypothermia, but,
we were idiots.
there are quite a few steps between you and sort of.
It's just I don't remember being
damage.
that instantly shitified by the cold like that. It was like my core suddenly became ill.
No, you generally won't feel it, right? I mean, one of the things about being really
drowning in chest waders, Mr. Andret says. Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
One of the things about hypothermia is that it will shut down your heat regulation system, and you'll start losing all sense. Many people feel incredibly hot when they're in the severe throes of hypothermia, and actually they'll peel their clothing off. It's called paradoxical undressing. So they'll strip naked and run around naked.
I've read about this,
and because
it's like their nerves are fucking sizzling, though, is what it is they're like freezing. So their nerves are like misfiring because they're sending all kinds of errors, and it feels like burning basically because they're just like on fire. That's a weird. And then of course, I guess you're so cold at that point, you're probably kind of like not mentally got into the state of hypothermia and hasn't came back yet. Quickie says Brady got into a state of hypothermia and hasn't come back yet.
I don't know. You don't seem very cold. You seem
the ADHD. That's what did it. Is what he's saying. It caused the damage and never reversed. Skid Scratcher had given 2 American ducats. Hi, Mr. Beaver. Hi, Skid Scratcher. You're also a member. Thank you. I'm gonna fix those. Tickers.
I was going to mention. Actually, Flat Earth came up in a different community recently.
Uh-oh.
and I sent you a link via Discord.
Oh, yeah, you did. Sorry, my
actually.
bad. Thank you for the reminder.
That's okay. And you don't have to play it, but it's just sort of so a couple of medievalists, people who study the medieval period in quite some detail, uh, are exploding the myth that people in the Middle Ages thought the Earth was flat, because no, they didn't. Anybody who had an opinion on the subject probably thought that the Earth was a spheroid, a ball, a globe.
Well, because they basically didn't have this sickness where they didn't believe they're scientists. I mean, anybody could have picked up, anybody was able to pick up a goddamn telescope, look over the horizon, and be like, look at that, the fucking ship disappears.
Yeah, well, there's a great quote from one of the somebody writes a dialogue between a wise person and an ignorant person, and the ignorant person goes, why would I think that the Earth is a ball when I don't see that or feel it? And the wise person says, it is in the nature of a primitive to assume that their personal experience is the limit of existence. and it's just such a perfect quote to still appropriate 800 years later. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't true.
Trying to find the Globebusters where they stand out here. Oh, there they are. Look at those guys. Look at these guys. Look at that. Look at that team of shills right there. Call us the goddamn shills. You should see their streams nowadays. It is absolutely pathetic. It's like, let's just sit around and talk about how fake pictures look. Based on what?
Yes.
And then misunderstand everything that occurs in spaceflight at the same time. Am I correct?
Well, I don't watch them.
I tune in every once in a while just to hear what kind of bullshit he's pitching. At least he's not Nathan Oakley, like literally puts on his Patreon, buy me a fucking steak dinner for $100 a month or whatever. He doesn't even, he's like, what do you get? Nothing. Which, I guess that's not much different than my Patreon and membership right now. Fuck. They get to feel good that I'm not Nathan Oakley and that I'm actually fighting stupid heads when I get a chance, when I'm done my work.
That's
I'm
true.
trying.
I kind of think, Oakley and Riley are, to my way of thinking, two of the most contemptible human beings on the face of the globe. And Bob seems genuine, right? Bob Nodell genuinely seems to believe this.
Oh, he doesn't though. Do you think so?
Well, I don't know. From what I've seen, he seems to have a severe cognitive dissonance. But I could be wrong.
What about the Netflix documentary where he was literally caught? And yes, maybe it was taken out of context, maybe not. That's what he claims. But he literally was like, "Hey, don't tell anybody though, or whatever, about them detecting the 15 degrees of rotation or of 15-degree shift."
To be fair, what he said was, if we released our results now, it wouldn't be good, which plenty of researchers would say that to one another. Would say that to a friend.
That is fair.
So
but then they continue to try to force that thing to read different results till they destroyed it.
Yeah.
And then they still go on to claim that they basically don't like to talk about it. And then you saw that they got an engineer to make an actual manual one recently, right? A gyro?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
You haven't seen about this? Does somebody out there watching have the link to that video where the one that Globebusters and that have been trying to make not exist, essentially? Because what happens, so the story, the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody out there, I get a poop beaver emoji. What else is needed? It's because I've got to work on that beaver emoji. Looks like a little coil turd. So My understanding is they've now went out and actually hired a. Oh, the plot hole's fucking live. They're both there. Look at. I didn't know they were live right now. No
Sorry,
wonder.
Doug, there was just this guy out there. He was razzing on me, and it was everything I could do not to hit him.
Well, there you go.
He's killing my numbers. You know what, Johnny? It's fucking on, buddy. I'm just kidding. That's it. Fuck. Throw down the gloves. Anyways, he's murdering me. What was I saying before that? Sorry.
Well,
oh yeah, it was
so
they went out, they hired a guy.
gyroscope.
Yeah, they hired a guy, this world-class engineer to make this gyro. And it was like it's this beautiful piece of artwork basically, and they spin it to like fucking 10,000 RPM or some ridiculous number. And it still registers 15 goddamn degrees of rotation. Because there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to be there. And so then they basically like tried to make these video not exist. Anytime the guy releases a video with that on there, they claim it through YouTube as proprietary technology that they don't want released. Or they were doing copyright strikes basically based on proprietary technology, which is ridiculous because they hired the guy to make it. They commissioned him. And then they tried to make it not exist, or they didn't. And they kicked him out of the convention. They had him at a convention, and they kicked him out of it and shit.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I wish somebody. Yeah, FTFE showed it off.
Okay. Well, it's a sad. It is sad because the reality is that they're if they're not swindlers, if they're not liars, then they are delusional. And I've been looking at the young earth creationist narrative, and they get professional, they get PhDs in people with PhDs in physics. One of them's got a PhD in geology, and these guys are basically paid to lie to the congregation. What they're doing, they come in and they do this stuff and they make it seem like it's science, and then they just peddle it to the congregation. And the congregation want to be lied to. They want to have these lies told to them because they want to believe that this is true. So there is this entire industry built around, lying, people being paid to lie by people who want to be lied to. And to some extent, that's the free market. If, you're willing to be paid to be lied to, somebody else is going to supply that service for you.
I mean,
that's a lot of what's going on here.
I paid to be lied to, but I got my money back from PayPal, but I'll show you what I got lied to initially for. So technically this is free now. Hold on. I mean, I got my money back because it's not what I ordered.
Right.
Stargate I ordered? That sweet-ass Stargate I got scammed over? Look at this. Look at this fucking thing right here. Look at this thing.
Oh.
Look at this beautiful piece of artwork. Isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this in a video, by the way. I'm planning for that video for the remote viewing, which is also, by the way, also called the Stargate Project. So in the Americans when they did it. So I was thinking of taking this. I got Ruby Rod right here, and Corbin Dallas has offered up his time to maybe to maybe go through the Stargate. So we'll see if maybe my new Chinese my free essentially because I got my money back.
Yeah, right. You're crossing the streams there. You're crossing genres.
That doesn't
by
matter.
bringing
That's what you're
Corbin
supposed
Dallas
to do.
into...
That's the whole point. It's like
okay.
in South Park. What was funny is when they did the Imagination Land episode. It was America trying to dial into this portal, and they like finally opened up the gate, and then they're like, who are we gonna send in? It's like they bring in Russell Crowe, and they're like, or not Russell Crowe, sorry, Russell, the one in Stargate movie, Kurt Russell, sorry, yeah,
Kurt Russell.
Wrong Russell. They bring in Kurt Russell, and there's like, what am I doing here? And they're like, you were in that movie. It was kind of like this. It's like, so they send them into Imagination Land through the portal. That's so funny.
Right.
Oh man, I love it. Mixing genres is where it's at. Besides, I haven't used my green screen. It's sitting up there all alone. I need to roll it down with these and give it the love it deserves. Plus, I almost cut my toe open on the other green screen that I haven't set up in a while. I got to do some live action fighting aliens or something. I don't know.
You do.
I've been
Definitely
missing
have to-
out. I've been
definitely have
missing out because the amendment auditors, you know, they're good fun, and I intend to do more of them, especially when they get arrested. But like honestly, how the fuck do you do like a skit with them? I mean, what am I gonna do to skit them?
It's very difficult. Like I say, I think one of the problems with the auditors is that sort of they're really incandescently annoying and frustrating to listen to because they're just idiotic. And I kind of think actually, that I kind of think that they're being mishandled because the solution is to say, look, I'm not going to argue with you. If you think I'm wrong, argue it in court. That's where that gets sorted out, not here. You're not going to convince me I'm wrong here. You get a judge to tell me I'm wrong, and I'll admit it. Yeah.
Just got here as PhD Tony being able to say more than 10 words. I've been doing okay tonight, actually. I medicated early this morning. Actually, that usually means it's wearing off by now.
Well, I have to say, I can talk a lot too. It takes a while it takes a bit to shut me up. So yeah.
You know what? Part of the nostalgia of this channel is that I don't shut the fuck up. So I'm just kidding. You either like it or you don't, I guess. Holy Smalls had said, "It's murdering me." No, it's "you're killing me, Smalls." That's funny. It's true. I think it was. See, that's funny is, Holy, I've forgotten if I said something regarding the first part, and I did when I read it the first time because ADHD. I'm sorry. But I do love you for all of the donations that you definitely give. And Holy Smalls said something really crazy the other day, and I mean this in the loving way, in the Discord. Said something like, somebody said, I don't know if it was NANA, which, by the way, thank you for joining the Woodcutters NANA, the newest member that has been convinced by Hypnotoid to become part of the Beaver Dam and all of the people that I'm using to build my empire. Soon I will block all the water in the world and unleash it on Australia again. But what I was going to say is Holy Smalls had said in the Discord, said, I donate X. Somebody said, I think it was Craven, or I can't remember, but it doesn't really matter. The person had said, I wish I could be a member, but blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole same, like, you know, but money. It doesn't really matter who said it. The bottom line is that I always say the same thing. Like, that doesn't matter. You're here, hit the like button, just hang out. That's all that matters. Yeah. So all that other stuff is, you know, if you got it, you got it. But where I'm going with that is Holy Smalls had said after that, said, that's why I donate extra for the people that cannot. And that is probably one of the nicest things I've, you know, like, just in general, it's people that think like that are actually better than a lot of us. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the first person to think like that. I like to think that I am. And I am a nice person, and I'll definitely reach out and try to help somebody. And I'll do it monetarily. I've done it. It's just that that kind of, like, you know, that kind of generosity is one of those things that's hard to come by sometimes in this world. So I wanted to say that I had saw that in my Discord, and I had made, you know, it's things like that I notice, and I was like, wow, that's, you know, that's quite a person. It's like that person where you roll up and they, like, bought you the Tim Hortons in the line, and you're like, the coffee's free, the person in front got it. I'm like, I mean, fuck, I might as well not stop the train now. Buy the person behind me a coffee. Like, fucking keep this bitch rolling. Like, you know, like, what do you do at that point? Just, like, keep going, I guess.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah, it's funny. That's a thing. I don't know if that's an American thing at all, where somebody buys people start buying coffees for people. Like, some guy went through one time, it's like, the guy up there bought the next 50 coffees. I'm like, what the fuck? Who does that? But that's the same kind of mentality. Like, he doesn't know the next 50 people buying coffee.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a...
but, I mean, if you're
it's
making...
a problem.
I mean, if you're making money, though, I guess, and you want to... You know what I mean? If you're... I mean, if a person's got it and they're not just, it's like in, what was it? It's like a person like just lost their job, but goes to the high school reunion, like rents a Ferrari because they want to show off. They're like, drinks are on me, guys. Here's my card. Slaps it down, drives the family thousands of dollars more into debt just to look cool. I could see doing it. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, this is the problem. From everybody according to what they can afford, to everybody according to what they need. Like, it's it's just a really, there's no expectation or pressure on anybody to sort of donate or contribute to any of these channels. You guys, it's nice if people do it, but you guys aren't aren't sort of screwing your you're not treating your viewers like some sort of slave labor force whose role is to go work to go out and do actual constructive work so that they have money to come back and pay you to mute people and yell at them, which is Nathan Oakley's entire business model.
Nathan Oakley. What a turd. Man, all these cups have the wrong liquids in them. Oh no, this one was all crystallized at the bottom. I don't want to drink out of that. All right. Okay, Tony, we're gonna watch some Globebusters now, okay? Because it's on the screen.
Okay.
But did everybody like my thumbnail? I'm very happy with that thumbnail. I have to admit it.
Well, I thought that worked well. Yeah.
The thumbnail was so fun. Oh my god, I was laughing while I made it. Hold, let me find it. Yeah, I'm gonna just drag it on the screen here. I was so happy with this thumbnail. Crossed out the Globebusters and replaced it with us with Slimers. Look at your hands over my shoulder, because we're friends, Tony. We're like
we are.
Yeah, you see that? We're going around sliming these assholes,
That's exactly right.
Pouring a drink and keeping the children. Oh, holy shit, that's a lot of alcohol, Scott. Okay. Oh, and that's a lot of booze on my desk. Okay, 10-second timeout, guys. I just gotta get this shirt so I can wipe it up. Okay, give me a second. Fuck. It's very mapley in here now, though. This has been a maple. This has been brought to you by Crown Royal Maple. Smells like pancakes in here. Okay. Straight up smells like pancakes right now. My wife came down the night I'd been drinking this, and she's like, "What's it smell like down here?" I'm like, "Pancakes." She's like, "You're right." Anyways, it was awesome. All right, okay. You don't have to drink, Tony. This is to loosen my lips even more. I'm kidding. People are like, no.
Okay. Mandeville is just determined to destroy my mythology. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't understand how people could be hard liquor alcoholics. Like, I just don't get it. Like, doesn't their like chest burn always, basically? Wouldn't it always be on fire? Do you just get used to it like anything?
I suspect you get used to it like anything. I mean, but
so bad. So what channel is this? Metatron?
Metatron.
Let's at least show that. I want to just show this real quick. Like, I'm not showing the video, but I want to show people where they can go to watch this. Mm-hmm. So listen, in fact, here, guys, if you want, toss, here you go. Here, in the chat there, go give that a save for later, or leave and watch it now, assholes. Whatever. I'm just kidding. They know me. I'm being a terrible.
So just to explain, so a guy by the name of Shadiversity, who's also an accomplished medievalist himself, did a thing about how people in medieval times did not believe the world was flat. Most of them didn't think about the shape of. Yeah. So these are relatively big channels. Metatron is I think he has a PhD in linguistics, but he so he does a lot of historical recreation.
Like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with that thumbnail right there. Like, give me a break. It was the first thing I saw. I was like, yes, please. Stop playing copyrighted music on my channel. Jesus Christ. It was just that fucking preview here was playing. I was like, what am I hearing? Stuff that'll get my stream demonetized.
Yeah. But
interesting.
Shadowversity, and so he's he does a lot of medieval warfare, classical warfare. How movies screw up, movies and television shows screw up, consistently screw up their depictions.
Today I ran into a noble one.
He's an interesting guy. Italian, but he speaks Japanese, and that's actually his speciality is Japanese history.
Blades and
but he's also got a lot to do with he knows what he's talking about in terms of sort of European history and weaponry and that sort of stuff.
What? There's no medieval American history? I'm just kidding. North American history. It's like, oh yeah, we had some steamboats back in the maybe 100 years ago. A couple.
Well, you had Eric. It wasn't Eric. It was Eric the Red Sun, wasn't it? Something. Forget who it was. But one of them made it across here.
Well, good for him.
You have Viking ruins in Canada.
Oh yeah, that's a little different though. That's not that's hardly ancient. That's not it's medieval-esque.
It's medieval. Come on.
He just rips me up. It's okay. It's okay. It's pre when they thought everything was for the thumbnail. $2 from Skits Crasher. Thank you very much, Skits Crasher, for the 2 American ducats. They're basically like gold. Actually, they've been worth less lately. So I'll just have to hope that the dollar drops on my end and then I get more from you guys. Just kidding. It's Holy Smalls with another $5. You're crazy. I actually set aside part of my budget for the super chats. To be honest, I don't see a lot of super chats here, and I think you deserve it. Well, you know what, Holy Smalls? Part of that's because I haven't been streaming a lot lately, and there's only 39 people watching. So I do appreciate your candor and your encouragement. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Honestly, I think that when I start putting out a little bit more content, I think I'll deserve more super chats. And if you decide that I deserve super chats from you, I think that's fair enough. But I can appreciate why, I haven't really put a video out. Like I've had 2 videos in like 3.5 months. Like let's all just realize that I'm lucky I have some members. So let's just leave it there, okay? But yeah, no, I really Holy Smalls, I really appreciate it. Here, let's watch a bit of Globebusters here and start just tearing them apart because that'll be fun. And he doesn't play.
Just to quickly
anything.
answer.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
Just to quickly answer Jin's question, yes, I did. I had sort of seen that, but it's kind of well known that the Babylonians were well ahead. In fact, I think one of the earliest. Jin sent me a link to an article about Babylonian mathematics, which was quite interesting. But they knew about Pythagoras' theorem, many centuries before Pythagoras was even a glint in his dad's eye. So they were more advanced than we give them credit for. Anyway, carry on.
And actually, because I have to now, because I'm me. The Chinese, they were like when I say we, but it was like Europeans and stuff. When we traversed our way over to China, we were like, "Wow, you guys have birth control pills and fireworks? That's so cool." They were up to shit that we weren't up to yet even. And now here's my question. Now, were they actually as advanced as us in a lot of ways, or was it fundamental things that they were behind on, or was it, and this could be opinion based because of course you'd have to maybe have a lot of the background, but was it more like being suppressed by things like the Opium Wars and things like that, where they were using opium to try to suppress the Chinese ambitions and stuff?
So they were more advanced at the time that Marco Polo visited. They were just technologically more advanced. But the key thing is that as soon as gunpowder got taken back to Europe, the Europeans went, oh well, this is fantastic. we can now make guns and we can blow the shit out of things. Fuck this fireworks stuff. All very amusing. But we're going to use this. We're going to use this to kill people, and we're going to, improve our technology to do it. And
so wait, in general, were the Chinese not using gunpowder for that purpose then? They was just all more peaceful methods and building mines and things?
So they were using it. They were using it for signals. They did have cannon. They did have guns. But artillery pieces rather than personally carried firearms.
They were probably pretty shitty though, right? Like they, a lot of things back then misfired like fuck. And
well, yes, and you need to, there's a whole technology that goes through it. Once you start doing this, you need barrels. In order to make barrels, you need, decent metal working. You need reliable metal foundry techniques. So there's this entire industry that developed.
But they never jumped. Did they never jump that loop before we kind of got to them?
They never really jumped that loop. They never really went that aggressively. And one of the theories about that is that they were an effectively unified, they're a very large country that's effectively unified. They didn't have that much, internal warfare to sort of motivate things. And
whereas Europe's just a big cesspool of fighting at that point.
Whereas Europe is just a constant turmoil, and so there's a theory along the lines that China was just too effective and too good at governing. Also, sort of you as has happened a couple of times, you've got when you've got an effective central control, they can actually stop things from happening. So, like the Toyotomi, not Toyotomi, the Tokugawa shogunate, they just said, okay, it is now illegal to do any research whatsoever. And they did that in the early 1600s. And from then until, Commander Perry arrived, there was no technological development. It was illegal.
Well, and they basically did the same thing again in not like in the last 100 years. What was the what was the leader's name? It was before Chinese leader.
Yeah. So there was a Chinese emperor. I think it was more than a
Hold on, it was.
Well, there was a Chinese emperor who basically shut down research, and the same thing happened to the Arabs. The Arabs had a vastly more sophisticated civilization, and then one of their rulers just said, "Well, we're advanced enough because I'm in charge now, and so we're going to keep things."
It was Mao. It was
Mao.
Yeah, it was Mao. It was Chairman Mao, and he ruled from like 49 to 58, and his big paramount leader Mao, his big thing, or I think it was Mao, his big thing, if I remember correctly, was basically the People's Republic. Yeah, here we go. So, following years of solidified control through campaigns against landlords, suppression of counter-revolutionaries, he had this theorist, military. He did this thing where he took everybody out of the it's in Chinese. Mao launched a socialist education movement. So what had happened is I believe, I'd have to read this whole thing, but I believe he basically did this whole campaign where he thought that the Chinese needed to get back to more agrarianness, that the technology, the European technologies that were coming in and all these things weren't good for China and its people and its socialism and stuff like that. So the idea was that they started encouraging all of these children, Great Leap Forward, a plan intended to turn China from an agrarian. No, so it's the opposite then. So then it wasn't Mao then. It was the previous one then. So if it wasn't Mao, then it was. Anyways, it was one of the ones that led for a while. I'd have to figure it out. But basically, one of the leaders in the last 100 years or so, he did the opposite of that, where he he took all the people from the kids from the cities, and they were all being shipped out to the countryside, and they were being taught to work the farms and agrarian up, and it was about trying to move away from this city development lifestyle and moving back towards their roots. But then, at some point, another leader came along and said, fuck this noise, we're going to fall behind. And he said this bullshit, and they had to reverse course at some point. So China's been playing a lot of catch up because they had a lot of traditional elements that were holding them down.
I mean, so Sun Yat-sen, tried to reform the political system, followed by Chiang Kai-shek. No, it has happened a few times that sort of central leadership has actually done a lot of damage to technological development. It happened, like I say, it happened in sort of medieval China at least once, where somebody said, okay, it's a standard way for people to go, okay, well, the social order now favors me and my descendants, so let's make sure that the social order doesn't change anymore. And one of the ways of trying to preserve the social order is to make sure that there's no technological development, that there's no sort of intellectual thought or literature or that sort of stuff that might upset, that might establish new ideas. So but anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to distract the conversation completely.
No, that's fine. I love being distracted, but the Chinese leadership is a really cesspool-y fucking piece of Wikipedia. Cause you have all these over, okay, so for instance, you have Mao, right? And he ruled from 49 to Republic of China on Taiwan. What the fuck does that mean?
So there was a civil war between the Kuomintang under Chiang Kai-shek and the Communist Party, and that persevered through the invasion by Japan. So the KMT, the Kuomintang and Chiang Kai-shek, ended up sort of losing mainland China and going to Taiwan. Now, for a while, that government, Chiang Kai-shek's government, was for a long time after World War II, was recognized by the United Nations as the legitimate government of China. They didn't recognize Mao Zedong or the communist regime. So internationally, it was actually the People's Republic of China on Taiwan that was sort of the official government. That was China for the purposes of the United Nations and everybody else.
Man, there's this point where all of a sudden, China goes from being people, their leaders are all, crested in medals all the time, to suddenly they're wearing suits. There's, a 1-year period, all of a sudden, all the leadership snap. And it's, in the 50s, all of a sudden they start wearing suits. And they're just, they're because they left the warlord era, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucked up. They're all, they were all military leaders. You get the odd suit guy in there, and the rest are all military pictures. Anyways, I don't remember. Apparently, I've got my leaders all fucked up, but I thought it was Meng or Mao or whatever. But one of their leaders, anyways, he pushed agrarian lifestyle. It was his big thing. And then later, the next leaders had to step in and be like, "No, this is fucking not working. Let's get the fuck out of this bullshit and keep moving forward."
Well, he did attempt agrarian reforms that were spectacularly unsuccessful.
So then I am thinking of the right person. Then it was just in the earlier part of his maybe it was the earlier part of his rule here. It's just how it is. I didn't really look at.
Yeah. So he did sort of he killed a lot of. He didn't set out to kill a lot of Chinese people, but he did manage through simple incompetence to interfering in markets where governments shouldn't interfere. He managed to set up incentives for the agricultural system to fall over and stop feeding people.
Man, I'll tell you,
And,
you have done well in life, though. I'm going to tell you right now. This is before we move on, this is the one defining factor we can all get in on, okay? You know that you've done good in life when you have your own spot in Wikipedia that literally just says wives. Fuck, like, look at this. Oh, it's not as long as I was hoping it would be. It's just like, I figured if they had to break it out, like, it was going to be its own thing, right? Sorry.
yes.
Never mind. Maybe I'm just criticizing
should
a dead
have.
man.
Well, you should check up. You should check up Muhammad.
Fuck. Oh
Um,
my god. It's like, you had like 50 at a time, though, probably, right?
no, I think, but he had nine. There's at least I read the Quran when I was or a translation of the Quran, and there's
He's a traitor. Get him. Just kidding. The
And,
Quran, it's like
and-
everything. It's interpretatory anyways, so, you know.
Yeah, so and there's a chapter of it that is dedicated to telling off his wives.
What? Really? No, wait. There's a chapter
Yes.
of the Quran that's dedicated to telling off his wives? Are you fucking
Yes,
joking
there
with
is.
me? Oh my god.
No, I'm not. So apparently the story was that his most senior wife was unhappy he was hanging out with this Coptic slave girl, and told him not to do it anymore. And one of his other wives saw him with the Coptic slave girl and told the first wife, the one who was unhappy about it. So they kind of ganged up on him and they were giving him a hard time. And so, this chapter of the Quran is dedicated to making the announcement that if these wives don't pull their act together, they will be smitten into the fires of eternal perdition and replaced with obedient wives.
And then he looked at her when she read that chapter. He watched her. She read it. She crossed by that chapter, and he looked at her. He said, "Hey, you remember that?" Oh my god! If that doesn't tell you that was written by a human being, I don't know what does.
Yes, that's right.
He's like, I swear to God, he told me to fucking write that.
Yeah, well, Archangel Gabriel apparently dictated it, right?
That fucking Bush was screaming, "You're a whore," the entire time, Samantha. The entire time, Samantha. Oh my god, that's funny. Anyways, okay. So now that we haven't watched Globebusters yet, let's try.
Let's try. Let's see if we can do that.
I really miss his other beginning though, where they sung like 5 minutes of like, "Who's the fucking flattest?" You've seen his other intro, I imagine.
Okay.
Have you not? Oh.
No,
Well, hold
haven't.
on. We got to start with that. You got to see the normal intro, okay?
Okay.
This is like part of the rules. Who you gonna know with the world is turned to flat? Oh yeah, this is it. And I think I've done this before. I don't think it gets claimed. Yeah, I don't think it gets claimed by anything. This is like flat earth music. They're not. Woo! I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I mean, pretty good production value.
Yeah.
Who you gonna call with the worst of flat? Here it comes. You ready? Yeah, Wait, here's the rap part though. Who you gonna call with?
Who you gonna call when the horizon flattens out? Go ahead, call them up, see what that's about. We can go around in circles trying to find us out, but if you're looking for the truth, yes, I can't go to space, so we hit the roof. Get it, hit the roof, and it all came to light with 200 proofs.
With 200 proofs, that's actually like 10 proofs recycled fucking 20 times. Like
none of which are
actual proofs. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck is going on here though? Is it still going?
I didn't think you'd have to watch them all.
Okay, we're not. Okay, let's just. So here's what they did the other day here. This is this. I guess it's clever. And then because that's probably more than enough to already get me claimed, you know, they did this bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Globebusters.
Yes.
We crashed the party. You and me. We came in there. Oh, that's not it. That's fucking what's his name? That's not the right picture, guys.
Data.
That's
Data.
That's Brent Spiner. That's because Gail, President of America, whether they like it or not, she has been reporting on.
Oh, really?
You're talking about, you know the one I'm talking about, right? That chick that's in love with Brent Spiner.
Yes, I do know.
Yes, this is what this is from. This is from the stream. Yes, this is what happened.
Okay.
We had Brent Spiner on the screen while she was talking the other day. So this is what happened here, everybody. That's why we got Brent Spiner joining us. You know what? Now that he's here, Brent's just gonna hang out with us.
Why
okay?
not?
We're just gonna leave Brent in the corner.
Absolutely.
Brent is gonna just stand and just chill. Okay, that'd be so cool. Can you imagine if we could get Brent on the channel ever one day to talk about that? So Brent, we've got to discuss Gail. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Okay. It's hard to imagine.
Oh my god! I'd have to be a far bigger channel to get Brent Spiner on, unless he's somehow owes me something because he got in an accident with me. Like, what's his name on? What was it? The Night at the Roxbury with the fucking. Did you ever see that movie? They get in an accident with fucking. Oh, who is it? Richard Grieco.
Oh, okay.
They get in a car accident with Richard Grieco. He's like, "You guys want to get in the club?" They're like, "Yeah, I'd love to get in the club." He's like, "All right, let's go." He's like, "I just don't want to get sued," to his girlfriend. So he drives them to the club.
Some different space footages that, of course, they expect us to think.
Richard Grieco! Sorry, go ahead. What? Well, what's happening is they've started talking, and he's going to just tell us.
Okay.
Real.
Well,
and,
I can't hear
you know,
Oh, you can't hear it? Sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't know you couldn't hear that. Fuck, you couldn't hear anything before? You should have said something.
some of it kind of looks okay. Other stuff is just so utterly fake. It is ridiculous. In fact, one particular clip we're going to be showing from Iru, Iru actually put this out, I believe, in March of this year, where he's talking about Katie, what's her name, and she's showing the ISS. And Katie Coleman. She's all like, yeah, it looks like an animation, but no, I assure you, it's real. I assure you, type of stuff. So yeah, I came across.
I mean, what looks like an animation? That looks like an animation. That looks pretty fucking real to me.
It doesn't look like an animation at all.
These guys do. I mean, I would love to see the animating studio that could do this real time.
Well, yeah, there's footage from Gemini 5, which was in the 1963 or something like that. And you just look at that and you go, they couldn't have done that in a month of Mondays. Given every computer on the face of the planet, it just isn't possible. That's a tiny fraction of the footage that the space programs have produced. It just, it looks silly to you because you don't know what you're looking at. But prove to me that you can tell the difference between computer-generated graphics and reality, and then we can start talking. And there's Brent Spiner. He's
examining it. He's examining to make sure that see if this is fake. I don't think this is fake, guys.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
All right, Brent, you go back down in the corner, Brent. Back down there.
You can look at the.
Brent's gonna hang out down there.
You can also look at. You could also look at the detail in the clouds, right? I mean,
it's absolutely crazy. I would love to see the studio that made this happen. And the other thing is, they say, fisheye, it's a gently fisheyed lens. It's not gonna. So, my thing is, how the fuck does it curve this and leave this straight? Or, okay, so this is curved, this is fucking straight. Makes no sense. This whole boom would bow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless oh, you know what? Unless they anti-bent it, so they knew when the fisheye, everything in here has been mathematically designed to be the opposite curve. So that way,
Yeah.
fuck right. Like, goddamn, what kind of AutoCAD program would you have to use to pull that shit off?
Well, I'm more interested in the design of their astronauts in that case, because their astronauts would have to be anti-curved.
Those are fucking robots. Okay, didn't you know that they've always had the sophistication to have robots that wave at us and manage items?
Yeah.
I mean, look how fake that is, clearly. Come on. I mean, come on. Like, that's basically what they do. We're not listening to them talk, but we should be. Hold on.
Different.
Here.
And I just thought that was awesome. So
that's the problem.
We'll be looking at that.
I have better ones.
Oh, is that Arwen? Oh, it's beautiful. Is that Arwen I hear?
Oh, do you? Awesome. Okay, we'll pull those suckers up. We'll be looking at those then. That is awesome. All right. So Austin will be joining us very shortly. He is out, of course, doing...
See, that's where they edited the film together.
That is
right
awesome.
There.
All right. So Austin will be joining us very shortly.
You've seen all those claims before. You're like, look, that's where they snipped it together.
Yeah.
It's like, cameras shut off sometimes. Like, fuck.
Yes. Yes,
and
shot, I think it's fake.
He is out, of course, doing his...
There's Johnny.
Where's what?
There's Johnny.
Johnny!
The,
Are you done getting better fucking numbers than me, you dick? I'm just kidding. I love everybody. It's like, well, they came. we spied on you, and I saw you thrash. I saw you thrashing me.
Don't.
Just kidding.
Don't apologize so quickly. You got to stick with it for a little while, and you got to land that.
I'm too Canadian.
Got to let it. You've got to. Yeah, you may be too Canadian.
It's really.
Hello,
funny.
Johnny.
I've been saying a lot of boots and about boots, like there's been a lot of oots in my my repertoire. Johnny, did you send me a message to join? You didn't. Are you tired, Johnny? Are you wanting to join? Fuck Johnny. He doesn't get to join. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it's all set up anyways right now. We would just keep forging ahead right now. But here, let's let them say
activism, which he has been doing.
Come on, get in there, guys. There we go.
All my day for the rest of the day or the week. Because
what was fun was, oh, look at that. That's a set of cock and balls. Look at that thing. Look at that piece of. Oh, you're in a tiny window there. Ouch. Hey, look at this thing. That is Brent. What do you think of this, Brent? Brent, check it out. Let us know how it feels. It's good. He gives approval. Brent thinks this rocket is amazing. What? I'm gonna get what?
It looks like you're putting Brent Spiner next to a dildo. Let's be honest.
I was putting Brent Spiner next to a rocket, sir. I don't know what your problem is. That is literally a tweet from Jeff Bezos. Actually, it might not be.
All right.
It might be a fake. Jeff who?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. It's actually approved. Is that actually really excited to introduce the new Super Shepherd Heavy? That can't be real. Fuck off. Fuck right off. That's fucking fake. That is not real. I am looking for Jeff Bezos' account now. This is not real. There's no way that is fucking real. If that is literally the design they came up with, I think he's the man. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay.
Well, I mean,
he's literally laying it on the line and just saying, "My dick, there it is."
There is an undeniable phallic resemblance in.
I already 100%. No, 100%. Like, watch this. Watch. Oh wait, that's not the right image. I don't want to change that window, do I? I guess I could. It'd take 1 second. Here, look it. Look it. Tell me that's not a fucking dong. Like, I mean, come on. That is a personal pleasure device. Okay?
Yes.
There's no way it's not. Look, it's even got the vibrating rim along the bottom.
I'll take I'll take your word for it. I'm not that familiar.
You can
with,
see it. You can see it. It's right here. It's right here. This is the area where the ball bearings go in a circle. Right here. Okay.
I have insufficient experience.
I'm going to tell you right now, you haven't had enough fun. Then you have not had enough fun. Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah. No, that's.
If you don't know that's where the ball bearings are stored. Okay. See, like right now, this is where like Johnny's like, "What are we talking about? Oh, I never finished that fucking." Hold on, I gotta go back to this bullshit. Listen, for a guy who's like, "Why are we talking about dicks?" He has a lot of poop in his goddamn episodes.
I mean, he does. He does. He's a very poop-rich environment.
Brainy is an expert, says NNA. You know what? Now that you mention NNA, there is a lot of windows in the background that I can't have up right now. What? I was on adamandeve.com. I have an adventurous lifestyle, me and my wife, thank you. But I am actually legit realizing that there is stuff that cannot come up. Maybe I should just hit X now before that happens. No, we're just going to live on the edge, guys.
Yeah, so that central one that does, that is
the real one, not this bullshit on the sides.
So the stuff on the sides seems to have been adapted from Dr. Evil's
goddamn
spaceship.
Hilarious.
But yeah, no, that central bit looks a lot like the real deal. If you just bring up Jeff Bezos' rocket, that's what it looks like.
Oh no, the center bit is what it looks like. Everybody.
Yeah,
that's Jeff Bezos' rocket. It's a space dong. Like, straight up.
Yes.
No doubt. It's like, it's... Oh, why are you popping up? No, don't pop up. Why? Get out of my face! What is it? Blue Origin. Blue Origin. Yeah, like... Song 101, you know?
That was the...
Today
I was
is
watching,
the day.
Well, here, we'll just...
We've been perfecting our ability.
Fancy music.
Land.
Oh yeah, they're ready to. You're ready to create a quarter mil.
Innovating so that we.
They've been innovating, guys. Here it is, everybody. The space dong.
Yes.
Space dong to the rescue! Here, we gotta pause it at the right spot.
Yeah.
We gotta slow this down so we can catch Space Dong in action here. Alright, we gotta get this right, okay, guys? Look at that thing. You can, with real life penetrating action. Wait, I thought it was I thought it was like a figurine.
Check out the thrust on that.
Oh yeah, look at that bit. You know what? Did you know that that's just like water vapor? Because they're just burning hydrogen and oxygen.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Like, it's basically the most...
It is.
Like, is that even bad for the environment in any way, unless it... Other than the energy burnt to store the hydrogen? Because where the fuck did you get that?
Well, that is pretty keen.
Is that the problem of the equation? Did I just nail it?
Yeah, well, that is the issue. So, in order to generate hydrogen, you've got to...
Electrolyze water, right?
Electrolyze water, which you need energy for.
So that's where fusion's coming in, right? That's where fusion comes in.
Yeah, there are also thorium reactors. Thorium reactors are sort of a more realistic. To me, thorium reactors seem more achievable. Fusion.
But aren't thorium reactors just nuclear reactors using a different substrate, basically?
They are, but they have numerous advantages over standard reactors in the sense that they don't auto-catalyze, so they cannot.
They can't melt down.
They cannot. You can flick a. They could melt down, but you can flick a switch and just turn them off.
Yeah, like is that okay? So that's pebble bed reactors, basically, right?
Well, it's like, got to do with the way thorium. So in order to get thorium into it, so they throw positrons at it, turn it into protactinium, and it's the protactinium that then undergoes the radioactive decay into a not radioactive isotope of lead.
Like, we have to maintain that, though, in order for this reaction to occur. So that's why you're saying, like, at any point,
yes,
unless something goes, like, wrong in a way where it fuses that device on, we can essentially always just shut off the reaction that makes everything occur.
Yeah. So the radioactive decay doesn't produce any more positrons, whereas with uranium or plutonium reactors, each of those decays releases more neutrons, which spark more radioactive decay. So it's kind of like a you can get a criticality. If you've got too much of this, it starts firing all of the neutrons, which starts firing more neutrons, and you can't sort of control the reaction anymore. Anyway.
Lubo said, isn't it methane coming out of Blue Origin? And no, that's SpaceX. SpaceX's plan for methane, the reason they use methane is because they have this grand hope that they can refuel in situ on Mars using methane. Am I not correct about that, right? There's methane on Mars that they suspect they can pull out of the atmosphere, is the idea, right?
So, yeah, the methane on Mars is a bit of a mystery because it seems to be intermittent.
We don't know where the fuck it I've read about this. Yeah, we don't know where it comes from.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem to be there all the time. We sort of detected it from Earth. We put a satellite around Mars to look for it, and then the satellite couldn't find any.
Well, we got patches of it the other day in one of our probes, even. I think with the old, not the new rover, the old rover picked up a patch of it the other day. All of a sudden, its sensors started going fucking ding, 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 fucking methane.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty strong source, too. They said it was strong enough that it's not like an error. It's like there's fucking methane coming from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty certain for some time that there's methane on, that there is a methane source that's releasing methane into Mars's atmosphere. We just don't know where it is. We don't understand its nature or what it's doing, and it seems to be sometimes it's there and sometimes it isn't.
But is a methane? That's probably more to do with warming cycles on Mars. Let's face it, where the sun's hitting and where it's not hitting.
Could well be. I mean,
because it looks like a nice warm place, but most of that planet's at negative temperatures at any given time, unless it's right in the summer under the direct sun at that moment. And then what do they get, like +5, +15 at best or something? I think it strays into the pluses of like by 10 degrees maybe, and then back into the negatives.
This is one of the lesser known truths about Earth, actually. Based on the energy we receive from the sun, Earth's mean temperature ought to be minus 18 degrees Celsius. That's based on the energy we receive from the sun. Now, the reason our surface is a reasonably comfortable 15 degrees Celsius is because of greenhouse gases. And when people say, "Oh, well, changing greenhouse gas concentrations a little bit can't have that much of an impact," the tiny amount of carbon dioxide and water vapor that we do have in the atmosphere has been enough to cause 33 degrees of warming. So,
yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So it has enough of an impact to create that much warming. Let's face it. Quick question then, methane, is that not, like, to me, and this is where my knowledge starts to break down. Methane to me screams biological production, but is that, we're talking on a cellular level though, even. But it does scream biological or some sort of like biotic form of some sort, like a life form, does it not?
Well,
like rot,
not
even?
necessarily, because
go ahead.
Not necessarily, because you can have mineral processes that release methane. Carbon and all you need is carbon and hydrogen. So a bit of carbon and some water.
But isn't rust a biological event? Isn't rusting metal basically essentially like a biological thing? The rust is actually like an organism, is it not? Or am I misinterpreting that?
No, I think you're misinterpreting it. So that is a, it's an oxidation event.
fair enough.
Obviously,
it's a chemical reaction. It's oxidization. It's just slow.
It's a chemical. Yeah, that's right.
You know the coolest thing is about aluminum that any piece, even a fucking ball. I know you know this, but a lot of people out there are gonna know this. But like even a piece of okay, so go to your pantry, pull out a piece of aluminum foil, rip it off, crunch it into a little ball. There's enough energy right there to blow up like the little space you're sitting in. Like aluminum has a massive amount of energy stored in. It's almost disgusting how much energy is actually stored in aluminum. And here's the kicker. The only reason it's so reactive, it should basically blow up in the spot. Like we shouldn't even be allowed to store aluminum in rolls. The only reason, I think you might know where I'm going, Tony. The only reason it doesn't basically react instantaneously is it oxidizes so quickly that as soon as you scrape the surface of aluminum, it reoxidizes over top of what you scraped. And if it didn't do it that quickly, the oxygen in the air would make that entire ball of aluminum instantly react. Because it would just explode. like a lithium battery. It's crazy.
So there's basically every piece of aluminium you see has a thin layer of oxide around it that is preventing further reactions. And it's one of the problems actually if you build a house with like aluminium siding or aluminium window frames near the beach, then grains of sand can be constantly carving furrows in the oxide on the edge, and so you can actually get destruction of the aluminium.
So it just falls apart because it's constantly flaking, and then of course it immediately oxidizes, and then that flakes away, and it oxidizes and flakes away, and oxidizes and flakes. So it could just happen like really rapidly, I guess. It would just like fall apart. It'd be like weeks or months and just boom.
Yeah, well, it can certainly happen quite, and one of the things that they say about aluminium is, well, it doesn't rust. Well, actually, it does all the time. It just, we just don't see it because the oxide is transparent. So it's a very thin layer. All it needs to do is keep the oxygen away from the aluminium underneath, and it does that very effectively. Actually, it can rust very, very quickly indeed.
Somebody said look at what the New Origin rocket runs on, but there's different rockets, remember, so it depends on if you're looking at New Shepard or New Glenn, or because I think, is this one the New Shepard?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to open up 2.3. Trying to find it here. Just give me a second here. So, New Shepard suborbital spaceplate system is composed of two vehicles, a crew capsule accommodating 3 or more astronauts launched by the rocket booster. The two vehicles lift off together and are designed to blah, 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 blah. Vertical landing, returning parachutes. Both vehicles are intended to recover New Shepard entirely by onboard computers. Additional flying astronauts, New Shepard is intended, blah, 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 blah. What does it run on now? New Shepard made its first flight, uncrewed.
I have to step away from the monitor for a second.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna look this up real quick because I want to know if we're wrong. Because I am. It's not as easy to find as I thought it was gonna be on there. What is Blue Origin? So Blue Origin announced details on unmanned orbital launch vehicle, indicating that the first stage would be powered by. See, that's a different rocket, possibly that one. Yeah, BE-3 is the first new liquid hydrogen fueled rocket. Because they got different engines, Lubo. They own different. They have different rockets. They're building a really big fucking rocket that's supposed to compete with Starship. They're just working on it. Here, like I'll show you. So if you look right here, Spiner, Spiner, can you get off the screen, please, sir? See, here's the BE-3 rocket right here. This is their test one. First Oxrich stage combustible engine made in the U.S. will power the next generation of American orbital rockets. So and then there's BE-7 adaptive manufactured high performance. So here we go. There's right here. Here's your thing right here. So you get the BE-1 is a peroxide engine. That's where they started. And then they got the BE-2 is a kerosene and peroxide engine. There's their kilonewtons, 9 kilonewtons, 140 kilonewtons. The BE-3 PM, liquid hydrogen plus liquid oxygen, 490 kilonewtons. And then you've got the BE-3U, liquid hydrogen plus liquid oxygen, 710 kilonewtons in vacuum. The other one is at sea level, so those are going to be different, actually. I don't know why they switched to in vacuum on this one and not in sea level. But anyways, BE-4. Oh, you know what? That's upper stage right there. Up U. See? BE-3U, upper stage. So that's why they do in vacuum number, because the engine's going to be optimized for vacuum. And how do you do that? Well, the cone on this is probably like a non-vacuum engine right here, for instance. But of course, it's hard to tell how big that is. But you look at an engine like this. You can't see, but right to the right, there's a human standing there that's only about this tall.
Mm-hmm.
And these are big fucking engines. And the cone is so big because when you get into, I know you know this probably, Tony, or maybe you don't, but you need a bigger cone to contain the expansion of the gases when you get in space for the efficiency. Otherwise, but when you're in the atmosphere, you want something with a lot tighter of a cone. But yeah, so this would be the upper stage, which is why they've given the vacuum numbers. And then BE-4 is liquefied natural gas plus liquid oxygen, which I haven't seen them fire that before. Wow, 2,400 fucking kilonewtons? Holy shit. That's a step up. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that step up. So then you got BE-7, liquid hydrogen plus liquid oxygen again. See, they've got apparently back to liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen. So like right now, they run on this one right here, basically, is the one they're running on. I mean, it even shows it right here, BE-3. At the full throttle, BE-3 PM generates 490 kilonewtons of thrust at sea level over 1 million horsepower. When returning to Earth, it unequally throttles down to 90 kilonewtons, unequally, enabling a gentle vertical landing on the pad. Like the space shuttle's main engine, BE-3 PM uses high-performing liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. BE-3 PM is designed for operational usability with minimum maintenance between flights. Come on, Lubo, you thought we didn't... No love, Lubo, no trust. No trust. I named myself Brainy Beaver for a reason. No, I'm just kidding. So much buffering for you. Well, Lubo, that's got to be on your end, buddy. Is anybody else getting buffering, or... Yeah, Lubo, that might be on your end, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. You're going to have to... Like, I'm on high quality, so... You'll have to like lower the quality on your end, bro. If other people aren't experienced buffering, then it's not on me. And right now my stream looks like it's connected perfectly. So, but yeah, no, Lubo, it's liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, like we talked about there. But they have different engines under development, but not this one. This is liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen. But there's their upper stage one. Shit, did you see SpaceX has already rolled out its new booster? They're gonna put that thing in space in the next couple months, they hope.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, look at it.
So it's so I don't follow the space news as assiduously as most in the debunking community.
Look at this fucking thing. Here. Look at that thing. Holy shit. Like, holy shit, that thing's big. Like, look at that fucking monster. Holy shit.
That is huge.
It's so big. Look at that little guy up there. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Holy fucking Jesus. Look at the fucking landing, the landing veins. Like the
You're right.
Can't remember what they call these. Isn't that amazing? Look at those things.
Yes.
Well, those are their steering. Those are their titanium. They're cut out of pure pieces. He literally said that it's hard to get titanium, solid pieces of titanium that large. Like, so these are worth like more. These are almost worth as much as half the rocket. Apparently, like when they collect it, they want these back. Apparently.
Yes.
You know, so they're not cheap. They were using a different material originally in their other design, and they would have to replace them all the time. But like, look how big that. Look at you could have a fucking deck party on those things.
You could. Yes.
You could literally barbecue for that. There are people with way smaller patios than that.
Yes,
these fucking things. Look at that. Look at this. Fucking Jesus. He's like, his thing is barely that big.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. The size of this fucking thing.
But,
like here, look at this look at this bullshit. Look at this thing. Oh my god, watch. They're gonna lift it up. Look at that's actually really cool too.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe you can lift something like that.
Yes.
By the way, that's a brave dude. I'm gonna tell you right now. Look at. I want to point this out. In what world are you ever? Look at the guy's basically under this fucking rocket as they're lifting it.
Yeah.
So a man was literally flattened like a fucking pancake today. When a mistake happened and that rocket dropped 5 fucking feet. Like.
Yes.
That is crazy. Is he hugging that engine? Like, holy shit.
Well, he's I think he's applying twist to the engine.
That's it. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It's off. Guys, we got to rotate this 3 degrees. Johnny, grab that engine right there. Give her a little push. Like, that's almost as good as. Did you see the picture of the Ever Ready? When it was stuck in the Suez. With a digger. That guy started his Twitter campaign. It was a digger at Suez Canal.
No, it didn't.
Look at the images. Watch this. Look at. Here it is. Look at it. Oh, let me get it. See there. Look at. Hey, here I'll show it. It's not on the screen. 1 second. Guy and digger at Suez Canal. Just like, and it was just this little fucking digger. He just had the little digger at the Suez Canal, little dude, this fucking big old thing. And it's literally, it's like guy with digger at Suez Canal. And then when you read the description, it said, I'm trying my best. It said, and then look at this. I'll try to get this one on the screen here. Let me just
trying to push it, off with the, that's not going to work.
Here, I'll grab it here 1 second. It's going to take me 10 seconds. I'm already on it. Here. Move! Ah! Fuck! Come on, guys, dig! Dig!
Get out of the way!
Like, Jesus Christ, the one on the right, too, these 2 little guys, he's got one little fucking machine, they're like, we can do it, I believe in us. Like, oh man, that's awesome. And then you got this asshole standing under this goddamn rocket here.
Yep.
And then so anyways, so there. Look at that too. Look at they lifted it right up. That's still kind of disturbing. Look at the way it sways. Like how many pounds is hanging in the wind?
It's a good question. That has to weigh a lot.
Like look at those engines alone. Look at that. They are applying rotation. Holy shit, we gotta slow it down so we can watch that mariachi band. Look at this. He's accelerated it, so we're gonna slow it down and compete. Here. Oh no, don't tell me. There we go. 25%, guys. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Look at here we go. Guys, turn it! Fuck, come on! And then once you get that fucking thing spinning, all of a sudden next thing you know, the guys are swinging in a circle like, holy shit, too much! Like, cause once you get that thing spinning, slow that thing down. Oh man, that's like crazy to imagine you could even spin something that big. I get it. It's just pivoting. It's just crazy. Yes. Look at all of those engines. This thing is going to fucking blow up, though. You know that, right? Like, this thing is going to fucking explode. There's no way. There's no way this thing goes. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that thing. There's no way that thing is going without a hitch. I want to put bets down.
It's going to be spectacular one way or another.
I mean, listen. You're right, basically. Like, it's either going to like, let's put it this way. I wouldn't have anything that you don't want to blow up around that pad when it goes to leave. Because, like, this thing, like, do you realize that when the first heavy went off, Musk ran out of the building, went like this, and looked up at it and went, holy fuck, it's actually fucking flying. It said, I think the actual quote is, holy fuck, that thing actually fucking took off. Or something like that. Like, because of course, you know, the first try was the same thing as this. It's like they just tried and they just got it. They kept postponing, and then they were like,
yeah,
we got this.
Yes.
We got this. They just fired something up on it.
You know, they just, you know, it's difficult to sort of, you know, realize exactly the levels of energy, you know, just how harsh a mistress physics can be. But
launch tower.
You know, yes, you know, the amount of engineering that goes into these things that people have, you know, that people have done, the work that they've done to try and stabilize it. But this is cutting edge, right? This is, you know, this is not something you can do every day.
Guys, if you want to see NASA stuff, you know, spaceflight.com, NASA Spaceflight.
Yeah.
Channel. Yeah, this thing is. So I saw something disturbing. Maybe you can actually. Apparently, this is the plan for this thing. By the way, it's gonna come and just like belly down. I think they're gonna try to do this bullshit, like this kind of bullshit right here.
Okay.
Like just do the touchdown in water kind of thing, where you bring it down and
Okay.
Like they've done it before. They used to do it with the original. Okay, because actually, do you remember? I don't know. You didn't follow SpaceX when they first started off, I imagine, right?
No, but weren't you know, didn't they sort of retrieve the space shuttle's cylinders from?
Well, this is
the water.
This music will get me claimed. So what I'll do is I'll bring in some other nice music, everybody. If you just bear with me. The music will get me claimed. SpaceX doesn't seem to give a fuck about you actually using the video. So this is before, because what they started doing is they started just dropping them into the water, but trying to land on the water like they were landing, right?
Yeah.
Here, I'll turn the music off for you, Tony. See, look at it. They just started bringing them in, and they would just blow up when they hit the water. They'd explode. they like fucking boom.
Wow.
That was self-destruct. They blew that one up.
Yeah.
These are their hop tests originally, right?
Yeah.
Oh, spinning. And they started actually, that was one of their first, they were still trying to successfully land at this point. And what had happened there, okay, so what happened this one, I remember these. What happened with this one is they, see how it just starts spinning all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Right here, see? It ran out of monopropellant, like stabilizer fuel, like right before landing. So right here, it has no stabilizers. So it had no way of finishing steering itself and correcting itself. It couldn't thrust.
Yeah.
So that was it trying to land. And then this one, I think it just barely tips over, if I remember. Watch. Look at this. Oh, baby, look at the thruster on the top. Just go, baby, go! Boom!
Oh, wow.
See, just rapid unscheduled disassembly. And then this one landed and just landed, and then it just like one of the legs I think hit too hard and actually crumpled a bit, and it just slowly toppled.
Yeah.
And they always ended so dramatically. Whatever fuel was left in them, it just blows up. And then here's another one, just landing failed burn. Oh yeah, and this is one where they had one on rough seas. So now they have a robot that comes out automatically. It comes out of here, and there's a robot that comes out and goes underneath the rocket now, and it actually stabilizes the base of the rocket so that it doesn't do this anymore. What it does is it comes out, it grabs the base of the rocket, and it actually holds onto it and locks down into the deck now, and literally locks the rocket down. Because look at this. Fucking Big C's is tipping around like.
Yeah.
It came in and crooked. And then this one ran out of fuel right there. Watch, you can see it. It ran out of fuel right here. You'll see the point where it just drops. So you'll see the moment it runs out of fuel.
Yep. Landed a bit hard,
right there, like doing good, and then oh shit, and then of course tips over because that's just too much.
Yeah.
Boom. One of the, I wonder if it shows that one. They almost fucking torpedoed with one of the heavies the one time trying to catch the heavies. Well, these are all the regular Falcons, right? And this is when they finally started actually doing it. Look at poof, poof. It just started becoming like child's play to them because they were just perfecting the computer programming.
Yeah.
And then it was when the Falcon Heavy almost totally. Well, because the boosters landed. It was when they tried to touch the core. I think they tried to touch the core on the heavy is what happened. Because when they did it, they launched. Because there's the dual landing. It was epic. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it. I was like working at a hog barn and I had to like get out of the barn for a bit so I could see it.
And watch for the landing lights deploy at the tail end of that landing burn.
The double booms. Poof, poof.
And that landing burn has started.
Both boosters looking to be on track towards their respective landing zones.
Really quite amazing.
Well, what an event. Like, look at that. It was a work of art. This is like a work of art. But I think there was the primary. They tried to catch, or was it they already did it at that point? One of them, anyways. Man, I wanted to see the, SpaceX, booster, high-speed crash. I don't know. Trying to type things, see if I can get it. Because the one of them went in so fucking fast, it was like, when you see the footage, it came down like a torpedo and just missed it.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, and he admitted on Twitter, he's like, I think if that one had hit the fucking ship, it would have sunk it. Like the ship, these ships are worth millions of dollars, eh? Like,
yes.
So it was like it came in like a fucking block of. Oh, here's his reaction. I always think it's so amazing. Oh, this is fucking National Geographic, though, isn't it? I don't know if we get it. It's one. See? Right there. He's not even in belief right now that it's leaving. See? Like, look at it go. Like. So they all ran outside. Look at. Yeah, she's holding the door. Ah, there. There's, yeah. Because they hadn't done it before, so I mean, it was just, I don't know. Anyways, back to Globebusters, I guess. It is almost, we're at 2 hours. Well, we can start closing her up soon, but we'll, if you got a little bit more money, or money. You got some money? Where's the fucking money? Hold on, we'll let Globebuster say some stupid. We didn't really let them talk much, but they were waiting for friends to show up, so we'll
You can't even stop.
Yeah, we'll see what they say.
Here I have it.
Bring them up. Second.
Okay, and I'm going to paste it because let me just paste it there. Okay, there you have it.
Okay.
And
that's awesome though. That I hope. I wish that was a real.
Yeah,
image.
it's amazing, isn't it?
Definitely real. Yeah.
I was talking about the dong one. This is real. That one wasn't. This one over here.
Base is amazing.
Yeah, it's
flying. It's not really floating. It's more, 1.2 million miles per hour. It's moving.
It's falling.
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 Right.
It's falling
around the sun.
Around.
I don't know why that's a hard
around.
concept.
And then it comes back around the other side. Falls again. And, well, it was always falling. So.
Indeed. All right.
So shit, did you hear what happened to the space station the other day? With the Russian module?
I read it.
It was so bad, apparently. It was so bad. Like, we almost had, like, a straight-up fucking Sandra Bullock gravity fucking situation going down. like, it was so bad. Like, and so initially reported, so my understanding of what happened, from what I've read, is that the Nakua module, the Russians built a lab section, which is very roomy and wonderful, I guess, and has some new technology and stuff, and it's a nice big open lab. So I guess it's theirs, though. That's part of, they might break that away in the future and use it to make their own, I guess, later. I don't know. So it's called the Nakua module or whatever, and they pulled off one of their other modules that was like an adapter and let it burn up, and then they docked this Nakua module, which is quite a large module, and so it has a lot of thrusters on it, I guess. And so because the Russians are really good at space these days, and Boeing apparently is as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. They fucked up in the programming, and somewhere after it had been docked for like 2 or 3 hours to the station, it just suddenly started kicking its thrusters on and started like yawing the station. And so it took that big old fucking football field and it started pushing on it. Well, when that happened, if anybody's ever played Kerbal Space Program, what'll happen is the other modules on the other part of the ship will start going, I'm rotating and I shouldn't be rotating. So then all the other modules started doing it opposite pushing. And like, we're talking like like whatever modules, the capsules they had attached, all of it. It just started going like, holy fuck, and started fighting. But initially they reported a 45% yaw. The article I read later said that is a gross understatement. Like, gross understatement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said what happened is exactly what I explained. But they said the problem is, they said that the station brought a knife to a gunfight against the Nakua module.
Right.
And the Nakua module has a fucking lot more thrust. And so it went a full, like, 380 degrees rotation.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then, so they had, it rotated 300 and something degrees and ended upside down. And then when they finally regained control and shut down the Nakua module, they then spun back another 180 degrees. So their full range of rotation was like 570 degrees or something like that. It literally, they said it essentially did a cartwheel. Around the planet.
Nice.
Like, because of how much spin the fucking module put on it. And they said that the guy that was on duty said it was the first time he's ever had to declare a spaceship emergency. Because it was literally like, shit's going south right now. What do we do? Because, I mean, if that kept going, who knows how thrown out of orbit it could get, right? So.
Yes. Well, also, I mean, you've got to consider the stresses that are being applied to the to the entire station eventually.
All those capsule points, those docking positions, all torquing on each other.
Yeah.
And so then they all locked down in certain sections, I guess, and did pressure tests and stuff on the Nakua and different modules, And but they said it was a bit of a gross understatement to say 45 degrees. It was more like 500 and something altogether. It was like a lot. I was like, wow, that's a big structure to be just flinging around like that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So they said that of course, they said, in space, I guess, who cares what direction you're facing, except that the solar panels are designed to face towards the sun. So
yes.
If it spends too much time not in the right orientation, all of a sudden it can lose power. Somebody had said something else that I was queuing on to as well that I'd actually saw about. Have you seen this grand plan to go back to Titan?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, so since we're on space today, space is fun. Do you have something you want to add or say?
No.
Okay, so the new plan for Titan, I guess, is I can't remember what the new one, if it's like a hummingbird or maybe that's the one that's on Mars, but there's another. First, there's a probe that they've got well into development that's basically a quadcopter. And on Titan, the atmosphere is 1.5 times thicker than Earth's atmosphere, so that's easy flying. In a thick atmosphere is like.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Landing is easy, flying is easy, and the design they have is this thing that. And the thing that I think is crazy about this is 20 years ago, this would have been the shit you saw sci-fi on Star Trek, and now we're literally sending probes to other planets that actually do this kind of bullshit. But basically, it's flying down through the atmosphere, and then at some point, it just uncases itself, and it just flies down, lands, takes some soil samples, folds out its antennas and shit. And the idea is it'll fly along around autonomously and sample lakes and do all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah.
So we can see exactly what the chemical methane composition of their oceans and lakes are and the rivers. And the idea is that in 20 or so years when we're ready, or 10 or 15 or whatever, we'll be able to send another probe that can sample some of the soils on Titan and then use their own oceans and lakes, whichever they can find as a source to pump out of, and basically in situ refill out of the ocean there. Can you imagine if we could actually figure out and perfect pumping rocket fuel out of fucking Titan? I mean, does that not then essentially mean we have a planet made of fucking rocket fuel halfway out in the solar system?
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean,
it would be pretty epic.
It would be pretty epic, and there are significant advantages to doing it that way. I mean, that's the problem. Part of the problem of taking your own fuel with you is that you have to get it out of the gravity well, and that is expensive. So the whole idea is that how
are you feeling, bud?
I'm actually starting to fade a little.
Yeah, I see that. I see that, Tony. And we've been going for 2 hours, so we will start to finish up here. But because I did see that a little bit, and I am, and that thank you, Commander Darklight. Thank you very much for the Aussie $10, and thank you also for the reminder that Tony is recovering from, or hopefully recovering. Anyways, we don't really.
Yes, hopefully recovering.
Yes, hopefully.
But
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Tony's been a little sick, so.
Just wanted to make a point, because apparently I'm very bad at pointing out that I have a channel.
That's right.
Some people are very surprised by that announcement.
I do forget it sometimes, Tony, so I do apologize as well.
But I do have a channel, and people are more than welcome to come along there. And I even put out a video this week on
Is it called PhD Tony?
My channel is called PhD Tony.
Somebody put that goddamn. No, wait, I got you here. Is this you?
Yes, that's me.
That copyrighted music?
That's
Where do
me.
you get that music from, bro?
No, I got it from Jessica G.
Where did Jessica G get it from?
She said she made it for me, but so that's and I put out a new video about Matt Powell and Young Earth creationists lying.
All right, yeah, this one right here.
My name is PhD Tony, and the first order of business today is to.
All right, well, hey guys, I'm not gonna play it because I want you to go to PhD Tony's channel to watch it. Okay, guys, so why don't you do PhD Tony a favor if you haven't gone to his channel? Go check him out. It's very easy to find PhD Tony. I also just linked it in the description, or not the description, sorry, the chats over here. I could definitely put it in the description. In fact, that's not a terrible idea. Here, watch this. I'll do it right now because I'm really bad at not doing it afterwards, even if I say I'm going to. So I'm just going to do it right now because that's not because I'm not an asshole. It's because I'm ADHD Beaver. There we go. Okay, cool. You're in the description now too. So yeah. Well, hey, listen, that's subscribe to Tony. Skype. I don't know why it blocked that. I don't know why it even blocked that, Mademoiselle. Apparently, you're not allowed to ask people to subscribe to somebody. I don't know.
Okay.
It's very weird. It got auto blocked or something. I had to press the show button. But anyways, Tony, it is 12:30 a.m. my time, so I probably should get going. And Commander, I do appreciate you coming in with that late 10 Aussie super chat. Because, you know, it all adds up and it all makes a big difference. But I am going to apologize really quickly as a Canadian and as the person who didn't stream last week. I definitely was a little busy. And even today, I mean, I had a busy-ass day, but I was like, no, you got to stream. I mean, I had, what's his name, Weber contacted me. He's like, you okay? You haven't streamed in 2 weeks, which, by the way, Weber, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I was like, yeah, I've like just been busy. I was probably a little dismissive. Probably because, you know I'm busy, but I mean, it's fair enough if you don't see me and you wonder. I mean, same thing happens when I don't see Team for a while. I start sending messages like, hey, man, you okay? Like, yeah, it's just not, we're not used to it, right? We're all used to seeing each other all the time.
Yeah.
So fair enough. But
right.
I am in the throes of 2 big projects. One I'm hoping to finish tomorrow, and another one that I am starting on Monday and hoping to have done before the end of the week. So I am kind of in the middle of a couple big projects that are, it's a fair amount of money for me at the end of the day and for my company. And so that's what's been absorbing a little bit of extra time. COD sometime, Commander, I'd love to. Honestly, I'd love to. For sure. Tonight's a little late, but I have been poking at different people and trying to get some gaming time. And kids are going back to school soon. Oh, it's going to be great. The littlest one's got like daycare twice a week. It's going to be amazing. Or preschool? Something like that. Same thing, right? Daycare. Good night, Mr. Beaver. $2 from Skits Crasher and Tony said, sorry, Mr. Beaver and Tony. Can't leave that big old tone monster out. I want to thank Tony for coming on board and also like being patient while I, whittled away all my evening time, putting my kids to bed and delaying it. And but yeah, I appreciate you coming by.
No dramas at all. You have a fantastic looking family, so it's no wonder. Given a choice between spending time with me or them, I'd choose them every time too.
Well, you know what, my wife loves the audience as well, and she loves all you. She does watch occasionally, and she sees me talk to you guys, and she knows that you guys are great people, including you, Tony, even if you're just a PhD guy.
Thank.
But no, I appreciate what you're saying.
My temper a few times.
Fair enough. Yeah, those flat earthers, though. I mean, fuck. That's why I don't like arguing with them too much either, because they just make me want to drive a fist through my monitor. But it makes me into a bad person that I don't feel like being a lot of times. So I like being a happy person. But yeah, did I finish the trailer on ANA? I did finish the trailer. I've been using it for the last few days to do my work, because that's the other thing. Last weekend I tore all the wood off my old trailer. It's just a home build, but still, I tore all the wood off it. The bolts were like rusted to the point where it was just like their metal's flaking away. So I took like a 4-pound mallet and just went like that with every one of them and just hit them once and broke them basically. And so it was like, it was old and rusty, and I went along and I broke all that away and then took like a buff thing. Like I took the screwdriver and actually chiseled the flaking metal, right? You get the metal starts flaking away.
Yeah.
So I chipped away all the flaking metal, got all the flaky metal away, and then took a buff pad and like ground buff the metal down to actual like metal again. Got all the rust. The rust was fucking just flying through the air as I buffed it. And then of course I washed it, primed it, painted it, and then put new treated wood back on it. Lock nuts and all that kind of shit. So yeah, it was a full rebuild. So that was my 3-day long weekend, was rebuilding that trailer and shit. And then now I have to collect honey over the next week. I have hundreds of pounds of honey sitting on hives that are as tall as me now. Like, no joke, like 6 boxes tall. So it's literally like the honey box I'm picking up, I have to like slide it towards me and then like lean it onto my chest and like tip back with it and go, because they're like 70 pounds each when they're full, so they're not like,
wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of honey. Anyways,
Not bad at
yeah.
all.
But Tony, I don't want you to fade on me, and I do want you to want to come back. So listen, everybody, go subscribe to Tony if you haven't. I really appreciate everybody coming by, and thank you for the donations, and thank you for just being here and being awesome. And hit that like button if you haven't. So I'll have a video soon, I promise. I remember.
Take care.
Okay, bye bye. See you guys later. I'm gonna hit the outro button.